My cousins, they died right in front of my eyes. I've been through a lot of emotional torture in the camp.
In 2007, an Asian refugee who escaped death camps walked into the toughest poker tournament on the planet, used hyper-aggression to outplay everyone, and walked away with millions. This is the incredible, true underdog story of Jerry Yang. A psychologist and social worker by trade, Yang had only been playing poker for a year. In fact, this was the only tournament he entered at the 2007 World Series of Poker, winning his seat through a $225 satellite at his local casino. With only 4 live tournament cashes totaling less than $10,000, he was the definition of an amateur. But what's even crazier is that Yang wasn't even supposed to be here.
I escaped from Laos as a refugee at the age of 7. Ended up in Thailand in a refugee camp. I've been through a lot of emotional torture in the camp. Malnutrition, unclean water, unclean food. I have a brother that passed away. My cousins, they died right in front of my eyes.
So how did this refugee survivor go from underdog to WSOP champion? Let's find out. Coming into the final table, Yang was 8 out of 9 in chips. He faced an enormous uphill battle against more experienced players with much larger stacks. But what everyone failed to realize was that Yang's psychology background would become his secret weapon in reading his opponents. From the very first hands, Yang established his presence, but quickly found himself in one of the most critical spots with his entire tournament life on the line.
35-year-old Lee Childs with pocket queens.
Raised to 720.
He says raise it up to 720,000. The blinds are at 120,000, 240,000, 30,000 from each player for the ante. Pocket jacks for Jerry Yang.
2.5 million.
And he's going to push it up to 2.5 million.
2 big pocket pair going bump in the night early.
Lee Watkinson with the 6 tray. And they go into the muck.
Everyone's dressed in black here. Who died?
Yeah, Tuan Lam in that green shirt really stands out. And so everyone folds, and the re-raise back to Childs, and he makes the call.
Somebody's usually all in pre-flop with these type of hands. Not this time.
The queens of Childs leading the jacks of Yang. And the flop, 7-4 deuced. Queen's still good for Lee Childs.
3 million.
And he bets 3 million with those 3 baby cards out there.
Yeah, he's got to like it.
I'm all in.
And Yang comes over the top. Wow.
My goodness, Lee Childs wasn't even done shoving his 3 million in yet, and Jerry Yang goes all in.
What a tough spot so early for Lee. That's his dad, Bill Childs.
Make the right decision.
I don't know if I can lay it down.
You'll know. Just play like you've been playing, man.
Father and son stretching the 1 player per hand rule. The other day we saw Childs lay down pocket kings post-flop to Yang, who raised with an inferior hand. The stakes are even higher here.
Yeah, this would be for almost all of Lee Childs' chips.
It's a big hand, though, Jerry.
And a big decision for Lee. Obviously, he doesn't want to be crippled so early at this final table. That's Jerry Yang's parents and wife. They're on the right.
If Childs makes this call, Yang is all but out of here.
I'm sorry, fellas.
No problem. It's a big call.
Huge decision for Lee Childs.
I'm going to show you some respect, Jerry. I think you're. Gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna fold this.
And he folds the queens.
All right.
I don't like the laydown. I don't like him showing the cards.
If you didn't have a beat, I will.
Lee wants to see those cards.
I think I made a bad laydown, but I don't know.
Bad laydown.
Wow.
I think it was a bad laydown.
I think so.
It was a bad laydown.
Fortunately for Yang, he avoids possible elimination after Childs makes what might be one of the worst folds in WSOP history. Later, you'll see why this costly mistake will be one that Childs regrets for the rest of his life. That crucial hand created a huge momentum shift for Yang, who was now 4 out of 9 in chips. But his biggest challenge was still ahead. A direct confrontation with another big stack player that would completely transform the tournament.
Jerry, and I don't know why his chin was even out there.
Hill no longer the chip leader. That goes to Jerry Yang right now. And with ace king.
1 million.
You know, it wasn't too long ago he was giggling at saying 1 million when he bet, and he seems to have the hang of it now, Norman.
Well, you know you're on a roll when you haven't finished stacking your chips up from another hand and you're able to raise the next hand. And he's immediately starting to play big stack poker with that big raise.
8-5 of diamonds for Hilm in the small blind.
If I were him, I might lick my wounds a little longer and wait for a better spot.
Philip is not waiting. He makes the call.
He's come to play, and he's come to play with Jerry Yang again.
Big blind John Kalmar folds, and so once again, Hilm and Yang go to the flop. Yang with the advantage with ace-king. The flop is Jack-King 5. Yang pairs his king. Hilm also got a pair of 5s and a flush draw.
Jerry Yang keeps getting hands, and he keeps hitting flops.
And Philip Hilm got a piece of that flop, and he checks.
2 million.
And Jerry's going to crank it a little harder, 2 million.
The new chip leader keeps the pressure on the old chip leader. I know Hilm likes his swashbuckling image, but there's a time to swash and there's a time to buckle. Right now he's just kind of treading water.
He does make the call of the 2 million very calmly. Staring back at Jerry Yang with a turn card to come. And it is a deuce of hearts, no help to Philip Hilm. He checks it again.
Yang always very deliberate.
4 million.
Wow.
Jerry is a betting machine.
How deep does Philip Hilm want to get in?
I'm all in.
All the way.
Wow. Well, he is just swashbuckled with his flush draw and a baby pair. And if Yang calls here, Hilm might wash ashore.
Hilm must not believe Jerry has the goods.
I call.
Yang makes the call to put Hilm at risk.
This seems improbable. Hilm was chip leader like 15 seconds ago.
No more diamonds.
And this would be for most of Jerry's chips also if he gets unlucky here. Philip Hilm had everything going for him.
Oh, I forgot we have the bearded lady concession here at the Rio.
Khan trying to break some of the tension, but it cannot detract from Philip Hilm's predicament.
Hilm now needs an 8, a 5, or a diamond, or his day is over.
And now the river card. It's a 6 of clubs!
Just like that, the player who started the final table first in chips was now eliminated in 9th place, while Yang catapulted into the chip lead. In just 2 hands, this refugee with minimal poker experience had completely flipped the script, but he was just getting warmed up. In the very next hand, Yang raises from the small blind, and after his opponent shockingly 3-bet shoves for 37 big blinds, he makes one of the gutsiest calls of all time. The board ran out and Watkinson was eliminated in 8th place, becoming Yang's second victim. With his newfound chip advantage, Yang adopted an ultra-aggressive strategy that confused his opponents. He started playing almost every hand, raising to 4 to 5 times the big blind and putting maximum pressure on the shorter stacks. One of those short stacks being Lee Childs. Remember his bad fold from earlier? Well, you're about to see why that decision will end up haunting him for the rest of his life.
Childs now. King Jack, poor Lee having Jerry Yang to his left this entire time.
And Lee still hasn't recovered from laying down those pocket queens against
Raise.
Yang.
He's going to raise it.
720.
He's going to make it 720,000. Lee never considered himself superstitious, but he and his dad been eating the same breakfast, snack, and dinner every day at the buffet. So Childs from the small blind with the raise over to Jerry Yang and the big blind. Jerry with Jack-8 of spades.
I would hate to be behind Jerry Yang in an ATM line.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and if it seems like he's playing every hand, it's because he is.
And he's got Lee squirming.
All in.
And he moves all in.
Does it again, a massive raise, and this time Lee Childs got to ask himself, do I want to risk all my chips?
He laid it down last time.
Well, my hand's not that great, but he can't possibly have all these hands.
Just make the right decision. You know what it is.
Are you really catching that many cards?
We actually saw Greg Raymer and Jamie Gold do this with the big stack. You just keep blasting away, and sometimes you might even win pots without the best hand.
I'm going to call.
And Lee Childs will call. Here we go again. First Hill, then Watkinson. Now Childs at risk, but the difference is Yang is the underdog.
Yeah, Childs made the right read, and now he's looking for the right result.
So Lee Childs has Jerry dominated with a shot at doubling up.
Oh, King! King!
Father and son have been sewn together at the hip during this main event.
All right, so here's the flop. Couple of 4s and a 6. Nothing in there to worry Childs.
Let's go club again. Let's go club again.
Child strengthens his hold on this hand, and Yang is looking at about losing 6 million of his chips here.
Turn card. Oh, an 8 for Jerry!
Yes! More club.
But Childs did pick up a flush draw.
Father, I will glorify your name. Father.
Is this really happening, Norman?
Well, Lee with that flush draw now, so Childs needs a king
People see your
or
miracles.
club to stay alive.
Let people see your miracles. I believe in your
And
name.
now the river
I
card.
believe in your name.
Yang does it again!
Childs decided to make a stand against Yang's relentless aggression and paid the price as the refugee eliminates his third opponent in a row. With 6 players remaining, Yang now held a massive chip lead over everyone and continued to show off his fearless aggression.
Right now to win it all with a huge chip lead with almost 59 million tournament chips. And John Kalmar so far the only one to be able to make any inroads against Jerry.
We started this tournament with 6,358. We are down to 6.
And one of them is Tuan Lam in that lucky green shirt who's managed to hang on to second place, though he's been very quiet so far at this table. A surprising final table so far. We've lost the chip leader in Philip Hilm. We've lost the most accomplished player in Lee Watkinson. And that man, Jerry Yang, holding almost half of the chips in play right now. Ace 6 of hearts. And he's quiet. We know what he's going to do.
Raise.
The man's a machine.
1.2 million.
1.2 million from Yang, and Lamb goes away. John Kalmar with ace 10.
He wakes up with a better ace from the big blind.
And he makes the call.
And you know, even though Yang has a mountain of chips line, if Kalmar right now was to double up through Yang, they'd be virtually even.
Gotta love No Limit. King, deuce, jack. Kalmar's bigger ace still leads.
Deuce of hearts, jack of clubs.
And he checks it.
John is first. He checks to Jerry.
2 million.
2 million.
Jerry taking a shot at the pot.
Cool.
And a very confident call from Kalmar.
You know, but for an inexperienced player, Jerry is executing an interesting strategy. He opens the pots big, keeps banging away, and lets the smaller stacks decide if they want to risk their tournament.
All right, so these two now to the turn. Kalmar way ahead. 7 on the turn, changes nothing.
John will check.
Kalmar checks.
5 million.
Oh, wow. That might change something.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Kalmar read Yang good just a little while ago, but Jerry literally keeps raising the stakes.
Trying to read Jerry Yang, and Kalmar folds his better hand.
Yeah, this time Kalmar can't withstand the pressure.
A few hands later, he gets involved in another huge pot, where his opponent makes a move that shocked everyone.
Into the muck. Jerry Yang now. Pocket jacks.
After a brief intermission, the Jerry Yang Show is back.
Raise.
There you go. Same channel, same program. 1.5 million this time.
This time he raises 5 times the big blind. Who wants to mess with him?
Deuce tray for Lamb. No thanks, he says. Kalmar folds over to Havad Khan. Ace Queen suited.
With the prettiest card in the deck.
Havad
Raise.
in the small blind. Says, I'm going to re-raise it. And Havad needs both fists to make it 6 million.
5,700,000 more.
And Rami in the big blind. There's such a thing as defending your blind and with pocket fives, though.
Well, it's an okay hand, but 2 big raises in front of him, one of them from the big stack. You know, why stick a toe into these rapid waters?
Off's given to me. It's a hell of a wager.
He's itching to play.
Hey.
But Raymond gives it up.
Now, he hasn't shown a lot of gamble in him today. Prudent move.
Raise back to Jerry.
How much more you have behind?
I got about 3.5 to 4 million, Jerry.
Boy, I don't think I can lay this hand down, Con. I have a big hand.
Not a lot of people would lay down pocket jacks here, and I don't think Jerry Yang will.
All right. I call.
Jerry does make the call, and his wife Sue looking on nervously.
It's a huge pot already.
Jerry, I'm all in the dark.
That's an avant-garde move.
Wow.
All in the dark? Okay.
So you call.
No, not yet. I haven't said anything yet.
Jerry's not committing anything.
And I guess Avad's decided he's pot committed already, but he has completely eliminated his post-flop options against a guy who can bust him.
And the flop, well, no spades. Yang still leads.
Yang's getting almost 5-1 on his money. He's got to call.
I call.
He does, and there you go. Havad all in. Jerry Yang has knocked off all 3 players so far, and with a good shot at making it 4 in a row.
Khan's like, what am I going to do? I tried to chip up against this runaway train.
Jerry's parents forbade him from playing cards when he was a child. I think they're okay with it now. Turn card is a tray, and Khan does pick up a straight draw.
But the 22-year-old is on the brink. Khan can survive with an ace, a queen, or a 5 for a straight.
Can Jerry Yang knock off another player? The river card now. He does it again!
After a brief intermission, the Jerry Yang show is back big time. Yang's 4th straight knockout at this final table.
We didn't see much of Khan's dance at this final table, but he proved in this main event he's more than just bluster.
I want you to know you have a friend for life, okay? All right? You played it very well, man. Thank you.
Yang had eliminated 4 players in a row and seemed unstoppable. But poker is a game of swings, and Yang's seemingly unstoppable momentum was about to face serious resistance from Russian player Alex Kravchenko.
Kravchenko now. A little coy again with his cards. But they're good enough to move all in, I guess.
Well, he does not part with these chips lightly. Trust me, he has a hand.
Action on Jerry Yang now. Jack 10 offsuit.
Count it, please.
As we know, Jerry, meticulous, deliberate. Frankly, he's slow. And why would Jerry be thinking about this with Jack 10? Well, he'll call with any 2 cards. Plus, he'd love to knock out probably the most dangerous player left.
If you fold, I will show you. I don't want you to call me because you are so lucky. You're winning all the showdowns.
I call.
Wow, there's the call. Jerry with Jack 10, but he's dominated by the ace 10 of Kravchenko.
Kravchenko wants to double up, of course, but I believe him. He didn't want Yang to call no matter what Jerry had.
So Alex Kravchenko putting his tournament life on the line against the chip leader.
If Jerry were to lose this, he'll only have about 68, 69 million chips left.
Good. Destitute. All right, now the flop. Kravchenko at risk. 5-8 tray. Kravchenko still good.
5-8 Treylon is good news for Alex Kravchenko.
Not many dents in the armor of Jerry Yang so far. Turn card another 8, no help to Yang.
Yang needs a jack and a jack only to knock out Kravchenko.
It's a deuce, and Kravchenko does double up to Jerry Yang.
For the first time, Yang's aggression had backfired. But instead of adjusting his strategy, he doubled down for a shot at redemption, calling another all-in from Kravchenko in the very next hand.
1974.
All right, Jerry Yang is first to act, and he's got king, queen.
Raise.
Jerry originally had his mind set on being a medical doctor, but went on a mission, worked with kids, and felt that was his calling. He's going to raise it to $1.5 million, as close to a standard 3 times the big blind bet as we've seen from him.
Well, his MO has been, if I enter a pot, I enter it big and apply pressure.
Lamb folded, as does Raymond Rami, now on Kravchenko. Hiding his cards again.
I'm tired of that.
And he's standing up again and pushing all in again.
Well, he's actually tired of that. Because he's short stacked, Kravchenko has just had one move down, all in.
So now another big decision for our chip leader, Jerry Yang.
Well, Jerry would have to commit twice as many chips for this call as he did for the last Kravchenko all-in.
I call.
And Jerry calls again. And Kravchenko is pinning his tournament hopes on pocket trays.
A coin flip for Alex Kravchenko's main event future.
Alex hit Jerry for over $4 million last time. Jerry's supporters have had no time to sit down. All right, here we go. Kravchenko all in, his pocket trays against the king-queen of Yang. And there's a tray in there. Kravchenko with the check mark. Jerry's drawing dead.
Yang doubles up Kravchenko for the second time, and for the first time, appeared vulnerable. The whispers began around the table. Was the amateur's luck finally running out?
I raise.
Now, that's the Jerry we've come to love.
Well, Lamb just got busy against the man who keeps busting people.
And he makes it $4.5 million total. $3 million for Lamb to call.
Go all in.
And Lamb fires back at Jerry.
It's the move I hate line, all in on a draw. Now, Yang has doubled up Alex Kravchenko twice. I'm sure he does not want to extend Tuan Lam the same courtesy.
Lamb has been very quiet at this championship table.
All right, I call.
And Jerry will make the call. It's like saying, welcome to the party, Tuan. Now go home.
Come on.
Well, it could be worse for Tuan Lam. He's a virtual coin flip. I still hate committing all your chips because you don't have a hand yet.
Tuan Lam at risk against the chip leader and juggernaut Jerry Yang.
我用 glorify 個窿俾我轉到。
4 and ace.
All right, now the turn card. 4 of hearts. That's not what Lam was looking for.
Tuan Lam, one card away from going out in 4th place. Lam needs an ace, king, queen, or 9, or he is wamboozled.
River card is a queen!
The momentum had shifted dramatically, and Yang's dream seemed to be slipping away. With 4 consecutive losses, and 3 against the same player, Yang's chip lead was evaporating, and the commentators began questioning his judgment.
To Kravchenko now.
I'm telling you, this is going to be his last World Series if he doesn't start showing us his whole cards.
He does raise it up to $1.4 million. Yang now in the small blind with ace 10 offsuit.
Well, Jerry has position on Kravchenko. He's got the bigger stack, but he hasn't been able to get the better of Kravchenko of late.
He wants to re-raise it.
3.5 million more.
He's going to raise it up to $4.9 million total.
Another massive raise from our massive chip leader. It's hyper-aggressive to the point of being unorthodox, but it's worked for Jerry, not against Kravchenko, though.
Lamb folds. Back to Alex now.
I don't know Alex's whole cards, but this is probably pump it or dump it.
He's standing, and it's time to pump it all in.
Yang knows these double-ups are getting more serious and threatening to his chip lead.
Well, Alex, I think this is the end.
This has been Alex's MO in the late stages of the main event. As the short stack leading up to this championship table, he was forced to move all in 5 times. It worked, and here he is.
Well, if Yang calls here and Kravchenko doubles up here, he'll actually be able to see Yang not that far off in the distance.
And Yang is going to tangle again with Alex. And pocket kings for Kravchenko.
Kravchenko's holding the goods, and he's a favorite to stay alive again.
Boy, Jerry's wife, Sue, has been put through the ringer here tonight. Kravchenko at risk, but ahead. And now the flop. 8-6-6, no help to Jerry Yang.
What's the old expression? W up once, shame on you. W up 3 times, shame on me.
All right, turn card now is a tray. That's a blank. Jerry needs some help to get rid of another player.
Yang can only send Kravchenko home here with a river ace.
It's a deuce! Kravchenko does it again!
What separates champions from everyone else isn't avoiding mistakes, it's how they respond to them. Despite these setbacks, Yang didn't tighten up. Instead, he maintained his aggressive approach, waiting for the right moment to strike back.
Kravchenko at all costs. You cannot beat him.
I'm all in.
All in for Jerry Yang.
I can't blame him with pocket 8s. But can he shake or outduel Alex Kravchenko?
Echo.
We'll soon find out. Kravchenko is all in. And Alex turns over ace-king going up against the pocket eights of Jerry Yang. Alex's ace-king versus the pocket eights. And here's the flop, and there's an 8 for Jerry.
Boy, that 8 had to feel awfully good to Jerry Yang.
Turn card now is a 4 of clubs, and Kravchenko's run is over.
Yang finally shakes off Alex Kravchenko.
With his nemesis gone, Yang refocused on his mission. Then came a hand against the South African Raymond Rame that would become one of the most dramatic moments of the tournament.
Rami checks his kings.
Yeah, he might be worried about that ace.
10 million.
And Jerry Yang with 10 million. Yeah, a big exhale from Raymond Rami.
A big decision.
And he moves the rest of his chips into the pot.
Raymond Rami is going to risk his tournament on his belief that Jerry Yang does not have an ace. And this one Jerry should think about. He'd be pretty much dead if Rami has a better ace. He'd be dead if Rami hit a set.
All right, I call.
And Jerry Yang will put Rami at risk.
His read was true here.
Good call.
And now the turn card.
King. King, baby.
It's a useless tray.
King, baby. King.
River card. It's a deuce. Raymond Rami is gone.
The impossible had happened again. Yang had eliminated another opponent with ace-5, this time against pocket kings, a hand that was an 80% favorite before the flop. This set up the heads-up battle against Tuan Lam, another refugee with an incredible story that mirrored Yang's own journey.
Lam left Vietnam at age 17, ended up in an Indonesian refugee camp for 2 years where he learned English before making his way to Canada. Jerry Yang, 39, born in Laos, spent 4 years in a Thai refugee camp. Tuan Lam, 41, born in Vietnam, spent 2 years in an Indonesian refugee camp.
Two refugees, both defying impossible odds, now faced each other for poker's most prestigious title and $8 million. The final hand would become one of the most epic hands in WSOP history.
Conservative here at the final table.
Ace, queen of diamonds.
I'm all in.
And he moves all in.
I call.
Jerry makes the call. And here we go.
Yes.
Both players, Norman,
Come
seem
on.
pleased with their hole cards.
Come on.
Jerry should be happier.
I'm gonna do it for Canada, man.
Lam just looking to get lucky.
All right, and now the flop. And he does get lucky. Lam pairs his queen.
Tuan Lam has come from behind again and again.
baby.
Yang looking for help on the turn. Turn card is a 7. Lam still way ahead, but Jerry picks up a straight draw. Kids in his hands.
To knock Lam out and end this thing, Yang will need an 8 or a 6 for a straight.
The river card is a 6. He hit it. Jerry Yang is the 2007 world champion. And there's one unhappy multimillionaire.
An American dream come true.
In a game dominated by professionals, Jerry Yang had just rewritten the script of what's possible, eliminating 7 of his 8 final table opponents and going from refugee camp survivor to world champion.